Welcome back again. Thank you for visiting Smriti. We have Dr. C.L. Prabhakar Garu again, continuing on the topic of Vedas. Um, it's a Q&A format where questions come up, and Dr. Prabhakar Garu is providing so much knowledge and really making us experience what Vedas are. We are going deeper by the episode. Another question, Prabhakar Garu. We spoke about tradition and heritage. Is there how do you, throw some light on it? Vedic heritage.
Thank you very much. And so, actually, Veda is a holistic knowledge. So you cannot compartmentalize easily. But still, for our practical purposes, we have got to divide and derive the happiness from that. So in this, I told that Vedic tradition is a flow and it is Sampradaya. It's a river and which has got a lot of teachings and experiences and all that. And all magic and science, everything is there in this tradition. There is nothing not known to the tradition. Everything is in Veda. That's why it is called Veda. Now, the question is very beautiful. Heritage. What is heritage? The literature, which will talk about the knowledge. Otherwise, it is called as textbooks. We have got to have texts. Because how can knowledge reach people? They must have a text. They must have one kind of divided knowledge books like that. And so that way, we have got a number of Vedic texts. So through and depending upon our need of knowledge and pursuits, we can go to the text and derive the knowledge. So the entire Vedic knowledge has been derived to us in number of divisions, but 4 divisions. One is, we call it as a Samhita text. Then we talk about the Brahmana text. Then we talk about the Aranyaka text. Then we talk about the Upanishad text. And again, there are subdivisions for all these things. Therefore, when you talk about Samhita, we have Rigveda Samhita, Yajurveda Samhita, Samveda Samhita, and Atharveda Samhita. And if you go further, we have got different other Samhitas also. But for the present, we shall confine to this heritage, the Vedic text. What are the Samhita is? Veda, Rigveda is a text. What do you mean by text is, text is English. And Sanskrit, you say Grantha. The Veda Granthagaru. I forgot to send you the Veda. I will send you that Shabda Veda. And Grantha means Grathanat Grantha. Grathana is to sew together, to bring together. And that becomes a Grantha. So sewing together means the knowledge is scattered. All the chapters, all the paragraphs, all the ideas, etc. have been brought in a order, chronological order. So that when you start reading the book, you will get some kind of orderly knowledge, orderly development. And your mind also learns order. If there is no order in our mind, it's a chaos to us. It's a confusion to us. You become angry. You don't become happy. But to be happy is to have the order. That's why it's a social order, text order, world order, cosmic order. So that order is the formula of life. If the order is not there in life, we are always confused and we are unhappy. We don't know where we are. That's why we have got Samhita period. That's what Samhitas. What are Samhitas? I just generally tell you. Rigveda, I don't talk about Rigveda and all that. Samhita means it's a compilation, collection. I told you yesterday that all Veda mantras are just revealed and that was a floating mass. So it was a floating mass. That means nobody knows what is what. And there must be some kind of editing, a scientific approach to that. Editing is scientific approach. You have got punctuation, you have got so many other things are there. But later, the contemporary modes of editing and all that is very much improved and advanced. But in Vedic times, it is only we used to have only one danda, and one danda is kama, perpendicular stroke, and two dandas is full stop. This was the only punctuation known for our Vedic people. No more, no comma, no full stop, no any other pauses you think of in our present day system. So only one danda. That means the idea is complete. One half verse, and then two dandas. That's the only thing. No commas. So like that. Therefore, we believe that when it was all like that, it was the lot of Vyasa Maharshi. Actually, the word Vyasa means editor. And that Vyasa Maharshi took all that into concern and tried to collect all of that and make them divided depending upon the character of the mantras. Every mantra has got a character. Every mantra has got a signification. Every mantra has got a reward. Every mantra has a suggestion. Every mantra has got a power. And each mantra has a magic. Therefore, one has to have kind of order, and that is the way how we can help the Vedic heritage to reach people. Because when knowledge is so much abundant, we are just away. You have to take that abundance bit by bit, slowly and slowly, in portions. So that's exactly what happened to our Vedic system also. In portions, we have been introduced to that, and that portions begin with Samhita period. So Samhita means compilation, collecting, trying to. Samhita, I told you, Grantha. That is trying to bring all together in at one place, depending upon the common characteristics of the mantras that they bear. For example, when you say Rug Veda, Ruks are Ruchas. Ruks are invocatory mantras, trying to call gods to her. See, whenever you think of doing some enterprise or yajna or some program or some festival, first thing you do is prepare invitations. And after invitations, then sometimes you will go in person also. So we have got so many modes of making more and more people to gather for our function. So we have the practice whenever you print the Vivaha Patrika, Sakutumba Saparivar Sametam Agachantu, Sakutumba Saparivar Sametam. So these are the entire relationship or people connected are all invited. In the same manner, here also you find the Veda mantras brought into one group which has got invocatory nature. What is invocation? Invitation. So, Agna ayahi vitaye granano havyadataye. It is very clear. Agna ayahi. I told you, oh Agni, come in. Vitaye, for the function which I am organizing. Agna ayahi vitaye. And they cannot come, you should go and appreciate them. Baba, you have got 100 programs. You may not find time to come, as just appear and disappear. That's what I do to my, whenever I give my invitation to the functions to my people, students and others, I just say, Papa, please appear and disappear. When you appear, I notice. I don't notice when you disappear. So like that, there are several people I gather. See that it is being shared by many people. Yes. For good things, we are always less people. For other type of things, more people are there. Even uninvited, they will stand in the corridor and look at you. So this is the nature of the people, and that kind of nature has got to be controlled and disciplined. Therefore, our Vyasa Bhagavan is called Vyasa is nobody, Vishnu himself, I should say. So Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Vasisthaya Namo Namah. This prayer is simply magnificently correct because he is a Brahma Nidhi. Understand? And there, Brahma means mantras. Brahma means knowledge. So anybody who seeks knowledge, he is a Brahmin. Nobody is by Brahmin by birth. Everybody is a Brahmin by knowledge. That is the definition. Brahmavit Brahmanaha is the definition. Anybody who knows about spiritual knowledge, about Brahma, then only he will be called as a Brahmin. Not all Brahmins, because if at all they are born in Brahmin but they don't follow what is Brahmanhood, then they are all called in Sanskrit beautiful Brahmana Bruvas. Brahmana Bruva means they are called Brahmins but not by practice. So we are afraid of people, Brahmins, who are Brahmins by practice, by anusthana, by tapas. So the tapas is important. That's why all those mantras which have got the invocatory type, they're all put into the section called as Rigveda. So it means to say that it is Rigveda is completely knowledge on hymn, on prayers, and therefore our English people called it as a hymnology. So the ology is anything for science. No, you can biology and anything musicology or something like that. All ologies are science subjects. Therefore, anthropology and sociology, ology are there. That's why these people also called the prayers which you find in the Rigveda hymnology. And so, in that case, and there are in the Rigveda, I talk about divisions, we have some family rishis. So they are not family. Recently, they were actual original divisions, Ashtakas and Kandikas and all that. Mm-hmm. But that division is older division of the Vedic mantras of Rigveda. And modern division is mandalas, suktas, and mantras or verses. This is the modern division of the Rigveda. And the Samhita, again, when you go to the Yajurveda, I don't dwell on Rigveda. Yajurveda, they are all application. Yajurveda means announcements. Mm-hmm. In Yajna, you have to keep on announcing because people who have gathered there must know what is going on. So, I am apo upasprasya, apo yachami, apaha krutva, pajyam savarpayami, ajyam savarpayami, naivedyam savarpayami. You understand? So, these are all the words. This is all Yajurveda business. Because most of the time it is announcements. And announcements are formulas. These people call it as, they're actually called as kandikas. And in Yajurveda, all those mantras, mostly they are in prose. So people will talk in prose, people talk in, whenever you want to invite gods, you use poetry. That is metrical stanzas. And whenever you want to be normal and conversational and requesting, then you will use the non-metrical expressions, prose. Therefore, Yajurveda is full of prose. And so that's why all Vedic mantras in Yajurveda, Europeans call them as formulas, Yajurveda. That is called sacrificial formulas. And they called the Yajurveda Samhita actually as a sacrificial manual, because something like laboratory manual. See, because the priest of the Yajurveda is Adhvaryu. He is the leader to say the procedure of the sacrifice. Therefore, he is called Adhvaryu. Therefore, Adhvara is Yagna. Adhvara is pathway. You is guidance. So when once you are on the track, there should be somebody to lead you to the goal, to destination. You all use in the car. You know what is that. So that lady will be keeping on guiding you. If you ignore her, you will be elsewhere. If you follow her, you will be somewhere. Like that, your Yajurveda is also a guiding UPS, like something like that. It will be just trying to guide you what you should do afterwards. So step by step. And ultimately, it will bring you to Purnahuti. In Yajurveda, we keep on feeding gods. When you invite gods, you should feed them. You cannot send them out. So the moment all people come, you should give breakfast and coffee. That we do it whenever we organize function. Our functions will begin with breakfast, lunch, and snacks. And this is how our functions go. Not that we ask them, unlike in India, unlike here. In India, at least in our Kendra, we don't much insist on registration, money and all that. We just get some people are there to donate. And so whoever comes, their coming to our function itself is a great job for us. That's why people ask me, sir, how much you charge to teach me Rudram, Chamakam and all. You are coming and learning itself is my fees, I will tell. Because your interest is my fees. Otherwise, fees is no matter there, but you should learn. I mean, that should be the principle of every guru, not taxing all those things. Because our elders say that Veda Vikrayam and Anna Vikrayam should not be done. You should not sell Veda. You should not sell. That is our Vedic tradition. You should not sell food and say you should not sell. But things have become very much dropped down and slowed down. So things have changed. But still, I don't want to deviate. I can give so many other examples. But see, whenever you do yajna, all people are invited. That's why prajaha. Prajas are the people who are attending that. Therefore, the yajamana will say that in Yajurveda mantras, Samhita period, yajna, yajnam gacchasvaha, yajamanam gacchasvaha, like that. You, O Yajna Devata, is Mahavishnu. You please go to Yajna. That is, you should Yajnena Yajnam Ajanta Devaha. You get Yajna is God. You Yajna, whatever I performed, enter into Yajna. And you try to protect the Yajamana. Yajamanam Pahi. And so all people have got to be protected en masse in Yajurveda, Samhita. So it's a collection. And therefore, and unfortunately or fortunately, we have so many schools of thought. Yajurveda and Rigveda and all that. So that's why, for example, in Rigveda, we have got 5 schools of thought. That's a heritage. So when the school of thought means there will be some differences, some variants, some arrangemental difference will be there. Somewhere people do one thing at first, later next. But people, other tradition will say, their later one first and last. So the orderly disturbance will be there. But therefore, whatever order your guru tells is the order you should follow. That is our instruction. No? Whatever guru says, do it, because Guru Brahma. And he takes everything over his head. So nam gurugal helidare. My guru has said like that. Ma guru gar chepparu. Ante. That way, this is Yajurveda also. So Yajurveda has got 5 recensions. 5 schools of thought are there in Rigveda. And unfortunately, we lost so much. So we have only 1.5 recension of the Rigveda available. It's only available in print. And the remaining 3.5 recensions we have lost. But we may get references of some of the mantras of other recensions in the commentaries by Sayana and some other people. But in the regular body of the text, we don't have that. So loss is there. Similarly, Yajurveda also, we have 108 schools. Among 108 schools of thought on Yajurveda, we have only 6 schools of Yajurveda living. 4 to Krishna Yajurveda, 2 to Sukla Yajurveda. So 4 plus 2, 6 recensions are there in vogue now. The other, even among the Krishna Yajurveda, only 2 recensions are Pakka. The other 2 are half are there. For example, the Taittiriya recension and Maitrayani is perfect. And Kataka and Kataka, Kapisthala Katha, these are not much, so broken. So in Yajurveda also 16 recensions, Sukla Yajurveda. So like that we have a school separate one. So Yajurveda has got that kind of schools of teaching, schools of experience. And these schools also vary from areas of the country. And for example, Sukla Yajurveda is more prominent in North India. Krishna Yajurveda in South India. I belong to Krishna Yajurveda by birth. But by study, I belong to Sukla Yajurveda. So by study only, I belong to Sukla Yajurveda. Otherwise, I'm Krishna Yajurveda. Thereby, I'm trying to balance between these 2 recensions of the Vedas, 2 divisions of the Vedas, and tell that this is what is Yajurveda. And so this is the heritage that we are having. Next, we have got the Samaveda. That's again the same, but only 8 recensions of Samaveda are available to us. And when you talk about the Atharvaveda also, Samhita, is again some many recensions are there. But what do you mean by Atharvaveda? It's a defense Veda. Atharvaveda is defense Veda, is something like pilot work or police work or ambulance work or whatever work we do it. All that is there. That's why whatever matter subject matter and needs connected to the people at large. All that is there in Atharvaveda, and therefore it was not given the status for long time. But samhitas are available. Paipalada is Maharshi, from whom we have got the Atharvaveda. So this is Vedic Samhita period. And all mantras are not possible to be understood. Therefore, we must want explanation, commentaries, and meaning of the Vedas. So for the meaning of the Vedas, application of the Veda mantras, and significance of the Veda mantras, and parables, how that kind of application is justified, etc., is all taken up in the text called as Brahmanas. Brahmanas are taken to be the explanatory texts. Because I'll have to tell, because I got only 15 minutes to go with, so or even less than that. So I have to cover the heritage now. When we have got 4 samhitas, each Veda has got again extensive literature built up. That's the heritage. So and moreover, every mantra, every section, every Veda is independent, but at the same time, we see sometimes a common portion to all these 4 Vedas, because you cannot expect Veda Vyasa to be absolutely critical, because the character of the mantras has got that kind of motley nature at times. So you put into Rigveda section or Pigeon here, therefore everywhere, but the application will be different. So the application makes the mantra different. You want example, because we are talking, Dathikranno Akarisham is a mantra which occurs in Rigveda 4 times. And the same mantra occurs in the Yajurveda, same mantra occurs in other Vedas, at the same time in our things. But that mantra is very popular. Dathikranno, Sandhya Vandana also, people do it. So like that, we have some very popular mantras are there, and they have got the character of Ruk, character of Yajus, character of Saman, character of Atharva. Atharva is magic. And you use magic to cure also. Oh, how he got healing, I don't know. It's simply magical, we say. Simply magical. Simply, see, for example, for poison removing of scorpion, he will just utter a mantra in his own mind and take some iron ladle or something like that. It's our experience. He just does wave 3-4 times, the poison of the scorpion done. You feel normal. There are people, because that is, if you want to verify the mantra just for academic purpose, the mantra and the application and the object do not have any correspondence. Therefore, it's magic. Therefore, it's atharvanic. For example, say blood to blood, bone to bone. The mantra reads blood to blood, bone to bone, etc. A mantra has no reference to poison at all. So all that kind of magical things we find in the Atharvaveda. Therefore, Atharvaveda practitioners are real beneficiary for the maintenance of the health and all that of the society. So there were so many people. We did not, in those days, there were not need for so many medical shops or hospitals or all these things. People are absolutely getting rid of so much. I'll talk something later about the mantra power. I have got hundreds of examples, practically heard and seen also the mantra effects. And another thing is, those people who follow Smriti Gandha, they are called Smartas. And those who follow Shruti, Vedas, they are called Srotriyas. And all Srotriyas, the followers of Vedic tradition, heritage, they are called Srotriyas. Srotriyas or Brahmanishtam, they are practitioners of Veda. In practical way, they have developed some powers. With that power, they will be able to help themselves and help so many people world. For example, if there is no rain, you say if you Parjanya Japa, if you do it, you will get terrible rain. Like that, hundreds of examples we can quote to say that there is a practical benefit from our mantras. Now we come to the Brahmanas, also explanation. The Brahmanas tell you how much the mantra power you can always operate and make it emerge out of the recitation of all that. So Akshar Laksha Gayatri or Akshar Laksha Mrityunjaya mantra, like that, people do it. There are people who are tapassins like that. Otherwise, we are not living like this happily. Because of good people, the bad people are also thriving. So when you think of Rama, Ravana also is remembered. No? So Ravana Hantaram Ramam Bhaje. So Ravana Hantaram Ramam Bhaje, Aksha Hantaram Anjaneyam Bhaje. No? So Aksha Rakshasa, Ravana's son was killed by Rama. So this is the account. Next we will come to the Aranyakas and Upanishads. That's another text. Number of texts are there. And when you come to the Aranyakas, and before that we have got Sutra texts. Sutras they're all formulas, very useful for the time of yajna performance. We have got domestic rites, sacrificial rites, and Dharma Sutras, Srauta Sutras, then Gruhya Sutras, etc. We have got sutras. When they're all small formulas, which are very much, they're all small packets of formulas. When you expand that, it will give you so much. Something like the cabbage I told in the first lecture. The cabbage looks small bundle, small roll, a globe. But if you keep on cutting, all your plate is covered by that. So this is what is the sutra. The sutra is defined as Sutram Sutra Kruto Vidu Alpaksharam Asandigdam Alpaksharam Asandigdam Saravat Vinivesitam Sutram Sutra Kruto Vidu. So Alpaksharam, limited economy of words are the letters are there. And Asandigdam, no doubt a lot. If you sutras are all giving no doubts, but if you expand, all doubts are cleared in it. And Alpaksharam, there are so like that, and only sutra makers know the sutra, like that it's understood. Then after sutra period, we have got other heritage is being maintained by the Aranyakas and Upanishads. Aranyakas and Upanishads are philosophical treatises. So all that karma kanda is there and jnana kanda is there. So when you are doing karma, you don't have mind to think what you are doing. Unless you get out from the karma, sit quietly, then you can reflect what I have done. So the otherwise is called introspection. Inspection, you do it. And also performance, you do it. After performance and proper inspection, you should have introspection. And that introspection is real elevation for your mental happiness, spiritual sides. So all that has been in Aranyakas. That is, when once you cross 60 years, you are not supposed to be in the family, in the town, in your people. You should give up your kitchen, you should give up your children, everything. Go to forest. Therefore, the Aranyakas are called as forest treatises. English people translate it as Aranye Bhavaha Aranyakaha. Aranye Adhyita. Even when you go to forest, you are not away from the Vedic tradition. Vedic tradition is something which will chase you until your last breath of life. Therefore, everybody says, before you die, utter Narayana and die. He will take care of you. So, in Shankaracharya makes a prayer in Asimha, Karavalamana Stotram, at the time, Prana Prayana Samaye, at Prana Prayana Samaya, I may forget to utter your name, but still give me enough Karavalambanam. So Shankaracharya knows the secret of the hopelessness of people, especially enjoying the Maranabadha. Therefore, they say, Mamadehi Karavalambam. So the philosophical treatise. So Upanishads and Aranyakas are important, and many people survive on that. But all offshoots of Vedic tradition, the Vedic heritage, that has been, the fire of it has been kept live by a number of saints, philosophers, sadhus, etc., including Dr. Prabhakar, trying to spread that, so that whether you want or not, you are in the complex of Vedic tradition, Vedic heritage, and because we are having that kind of floodlight of Vedas upon us, we always look very much illumined. So illumination is there in us only because of the Vedic heritage. I think this is very interesting. I hope I covered the time. I don't know whether it is still there. So Namaste Amma, we are able to cover. Actually, I have no preparation as such, but whatever that comes to me offhand, and I'm thankful for the goddess Saraswati, Lalita Parameswari, who is Vagdevi, and Lalita Parameswari is so great that she is surrounded by a number of Vagdevis. So that means to say, Sri Vidyopasana is the key to get the grace of goddess Lalita Tripura Sundari, and all Vagdevis will be our friends. Thank you, madam. So we are able to do something for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Om
much, Prabhakar garu.
Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Sri Veda Purusha Asirvadostu. Om Tatsatu. Sarve Lokaha Sukhino Sarantu.
Chala baundandi. Thank you so much again. Beautifully explained. There were so many nuggets that we can pick up, and definitely it was very, very enlightening. Again, thank you so much for taking the time and bringing your enthusiasm. Thank you all, viewers, and but please do visit us again. There are more questions, and Dr. Prabhakar garu is going to take those up and take us on a journey. And namaste.